Welcome to the 7th season of Smart Talks with Jovan, where we will explore key topics shaping the future of cybersecurity. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Maximilian Urban, a recognized expert in the field of energy and cybersecurity, actively contributing to international working groups focused on securing smart grids and sustainable network technology. Maximilian, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for your invitation.
And we can start with the first question of this our interview. You're holding the position of Information Security Officer of Netz Noe, Austria, part of EVN Group, and head of the department controlling regulation, management, security. And can you tell us a little bit more about the work related to cybersecurity in your organization?
Yes, thank you. We started as a DSO. We have been invited in 2013 to the regulator, to the Austrian regulator, and we have been asked to do something on risk analysis and risk mitigation because the regulator at that time had the fear of a blackout due to the smart metering, which are going to be implemented in Austria, and they are already implemented. So we started this public-private partnership with the regulator and had a voluntary agreement with them to run information security measures to improve our information security operation. Then later on, the NIS directive on European level came, and this ended up in a NIS law. We call it now NIS 1 law because we expect the NIS 2 law very close in the future, but unluckily still in the future. And the NIS law, NIS 1 law, came in 2018, and from that on we have been decided to be an essential service operator. So we had to give a report to the NIS authority, which is in Austria within the Ministry of Internal Affairs, that we do an information security management system according to ISO 20001 in the time frame of 3 years. So this was then to be done in 2022, where we brought the report to them and also got our ISMS certified to ISO 20001. And now we are more or less waiting on our second report, which should come in 2025, which we will do in fall this year, in September and October. Or if NIS 2 law comes in that time, then make the report according to the NIS 2 law functionality and requests.
Okay, thank you. What do you see as the biggest cybersecurity challenges for utility companies today, and how can the industry address them?
So we, as a DSO, we were a critical infrastructure from the very beginning. We were always told you're a critical infrastructure. And in the first beginning, we said the scope of NIS is only our system operation. We have two big procedures and tasks in our company. System operation means delivery of energy, and meter to cache or meter to data to measure what happens at the customer side, and then at the end make out a bill of that and earn money with that. So the first beginning, the first scope was only system administration. Now and this is mainly OT business, operational IT business, not IT so far. This was the first challenge, to get the OT people IT thinking. So although they are operating IT assets, but in an OT way, it was very hard to tell them, well, you have to find services, you have to have assets, you have to define authentication and write system administration, this kind of stuff. So once we have reached that, we were now able to extend this ISMS into the whole the rest of the company, and this is much easier, although it's much more assets in the meter to cash process. It's more or less only IT oriented business, so we can clearly put on our measures on information security activities. And the second thing we learned, so the first thing is how to deal with the OT business, because they had their own ideas. And the second thing is supplier management. So we are not producing our equipment on our own, so we buy that. And then to handle the supplier and the equipment we buy, and to make this equipment cybersecure ready. Yeah, how to deal with the supplier, when to test, how to test the equipment, when to put it into the field, how to handle maintenance personnel from the supplier, and can we let them on the construction site to help us with, let's say, patching firmware or this kind of stuff, and to get trust into the people in a zero trust business, because information security is a zero trust business. Yeah, and this was the second largest topic we had to do, because we also learned that some suppliers were not cybersecure aware. They were not aware where their equipment will be used on our site, and how important their equipment for our procedure is in terms of our business. And they had to learn that, or we had to teach them, well, it's interesting for us that you produce and operate cybersecure equipment.
Okay, but when you mentioned that topic, it is very interesting, and I heard a lot of stories, and I must mention Chinese manufacturers and Chinese meters, because we always heard some stories. Example, one story is some manufacturer told us that they turn on that meter, and meter go to some server on China and deliver data there. And question was how we can control that data will go only where we want to go, not somewhere where we don't want to deliver data. What is your experience about that? Do you see any problem? Is manufacturer from Europe, China, America, or any other continent? Can you manage that?
I don't know if you see a problem, because we manage it. I would say that. Yeah, we also have so we have different smart meter suppliers, and one of them is also from China. But we have the zero trust strategy, which is given by the ISO 20001, telling us, or we had set up the rules, that we take the hardware equipment and test it before in our laboratories before we mount it at the customer site. Each component. There's a 100% asset in test, and we patch the firmware on the meter in our laboratories. And we don't take that which comes with the meter. So we delete the meter completely and put the software by ourselves on there. And this is tested in our sandboxes before, so we know what the software does. And this is exactly what I meant before, that suppliers had to learn how we see their equipment. Nobody thinks of, hey, it's just a meter. But we say it's a very important configuration item for us. So we run this zero trust, and we test everything when it comes into our storage. And reconfigures it before it goes out. But this means we have to have the logistics for that. We have to have the competence for that. So this is a lot of effort in our place. Yeah. And this is what our organization had to learn, how to deal with simple equipment we buy from outside.
Okay, so you have very good laboratory for that. But how you later manage that? Okay, one phase is to take the meters and test in the laboratory and put firmware, etc. But later, when you have delivery of 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 meters, how then you can manage firmware and check and everything? Do you have some samples testing or?
Yes, this is exactly how it works. First of all, the meter is sealed. The meter is sealed physically, so that we see if the seal is broken, somebody has done something, then the meter is said to be corrupted and taken out in the very second. And the complete communication is done with cryptographic methods. So every smart meter we have is connected to a public key infrastructure. And there's not only one key on the meter, there are 16 altogether. And the complete communication is done via these certificates. So you once have to break the certificates to get digitally into the smart meter. And therefore we are using the strongest cryptification methods which are available today. But we also know, and that is what our consultants already say, there is the quantum computing edge coming closer to us, and once this key can be broken, we have to have a different system then.
Okay, but you have your own key management part.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, what is your experience with some? Do you have some cyber attacks on your system? Do you see any hackers try to do anything? Do you have that kind of experience?
Not yet in the operational IT. The operational IT is physically completely separated from the economic IT, the normal IT. It's not connected to the internet, so we don't have connections, not even demilitarized connections. And once we have maintenance on the site, because we have a very big industrial engine, which is the grid in whole Lower Austria, we have to companion the maintenance personnel on site. Once they have to do something on site, and if there is a remote maintenance, we also track what happens there.
So your operation network is completely independent from internet and any public network?
Yeah, it's not allowed to have any connections, and we supervise that. And we have also the rule to segregate the network into small pieces. So we have very small pieces within the communication grid, so that there are a lot of burden to come from one segment into the next.
So it is the best way to protect, to avoid any physical connection with public space. Okay, clear. Tell me, do you have any situation with consumers here? Do you have any society of consumers? Do they was active about security? We know, you probably know example from Netherlands.
Yeah, of course there are consumer organizations, but for whatever reason, I don't know, they don't talk about cybersecurity yet. It might come. They are more talking about, does the consumer have to have a smart meter or not? So the implementation of smart meter in Austria was done from, let's say, 2019 until 2022. Also, we had a full rollout of smart meters until 2022, and there are very, very few in whole Austria and in Lower Austria.
Yeah.
But there was the law that smart.
Oh, it is completed.
Yeah. This is completely done now. But for whatever reason, there are very few persons, I would say, individuals refusing the smart meter. But they don't have a chance because it's a law in Austria. And you can opt into the 15 minutes metering cycle. If you don't opt in, you just have a monthly value sent to the DSO for billing reasons, and that's it. And we now have also energy communities becoming very popular. And with energy communities, you have to have this 15 minutes measurement cycle. And interestingly, the people are not interested in opt-in in a smart meter, but they're very interested in taking part in an energy community. And once they're in an energy community, it's no problem at all that they opt in into the 15 minutes measurement cycle. So the thinking of the people changes completely if they see an advantage. And the smart meter brings the advantage. Take part in an energy community, use the local energy, and then in the moment, the people like that, although they might have been against before.
What were the reasons to deny smart meter?
Well, several reasons. Electromagnetic radiation, but everybody of them had a mobile phone. Distrust in that you can look if somebody's at home, or what you do at home, which television program you're looking.
Security. So it
is definitely.
Who see your data?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Okay, we can go with the next question. Can you share some best practices or innovative solutions that have been successfully implemented to strengthen security in utilities?
Yeah, this is a good question. And it's not the first time I've been asked. So the technology for cybersecurity is there. You just have to implement it. Of course, some of it is cheaper, some of it is more expensive. But what really brought us a step forward in Austria is that after starting with this voluntary agreement with the regulator, I told you in the very beginning, we had a good exchange among all the DSOs in Austria, and we agreed on later on to co-found an energy CCERT, which is called Austrian Energy Cert now. This is kind of interesting, or let's say surprising, as the utility sector in Austria was not the best interconnected one before. So we didn't tell us everything, although we were in the same sector. But now with that, we started to say, well, there's the energy cert, and we want to tell the cert when we have a problem, so that they could warn our neighboring DSOs that we had a problem, they should look after that for avoid that. And all of the DSOs said, yes, we want to have that. And this is kind of best practice in Europe, what I learned. You know that I'm also working in the European associations, also for cybersecurity. And this, for what I know, did not happen in any other member state in European Union. So we are very proud of that. And we now do the next step. So we operate this energy cert for 3 years now. And we now did the next step, as we have in our ESMS, or in all of our ESMS systems we have in the sector, we have the responsibility to run a security operations center, an SOC, and we decided to have a cooperative SOC from being operated from the same company which does the energy cert. We now started 2 months ago to build up an energy system operation center. Because we had, as a sector, that very good experience with the common energy search. And EVN, which is our mother, has a very special situation, because in our holding company EVN we started also to build a security operation center. So we have one in our holding, but we still decided to have one in our sector, and we connect them. Because we said, if somebody has an incident, let's say in Salzburg or in Tyrol, which for some reason did not show up in our systems, and we get information, we still the one step ahead of in preventing. And although we have an own SOC, we said we will get connection to the energy SOC in Austria. And this is this cooperation and this trust in the sector that will tell us who has an incident, what happened, and what the mitigation is. I think this is really forward-looking. Yeah?
So it is prevention, because you
Definitely,
can expect that if any DCO have the problem, maybe very soon the other will have the same. On this way you will get alarm from them and better prepare and start to check everything. Okay,
exactly.
yes, interesting example. Okay, thank you, Maximilian. This concludes the first part of our conversation with Mr. Maximilian Urban. Stay tuned for the second part, where we will dive deeper into cybersecurity regulations, future challenges, and key lessons from his extensive career.